Hi everybody, Ryan Balaji with Golf News Net. Welcome back to our channel and thanks for checking us out again. So a few months ago, I was down in Orlando for the PGA Merchandise Show, and I was fortunate enough to attend the multi-manufacturer media day that's typically title sponsored by Tour Edge. Big fan of Tour Edge, love their 3-woods, love their hybrids. We're working on a review of their EXS series, which you'll see also very soon. And on the next last hole of the day, for us, they had a long drive contest. And our team kind of having a few beers. We were playing okay, and we weren't going to win. And so I stepped up and said, you know what? I'm going to win this long drive contest, and I'm just going to smash one. And I rocketed a drive, probably about 2 yards past someone from Golficity who hit an awesome drive themselves. And I just probably got lucky, got a little bit more roll than they did, and won. And so my prize was a CBX 119 3-wood from the Exotics series. And after a few weeks, sent them my specs, they sent them to me right away. And so this is a little bit of a bonus review in that regard. I wasn't planning on doing a review on this, but now that I've got it and I love it, I want to tell you about it. So the original CBX was designed to be a distance first 3-wood, distance first fairway wood, kill a lot of spin, get it out there as far as you can, be something you could tee off with, something you could play with off the fairway, and just reach a lot of par 5s with. And I love the classic black look. I love that it's a little bit more compact in the 119 because they've gotten some feedback from their tour players and the better players. And, you know, we love this club, but we want it to be a little bit more compact. So a little bit smaller footprint, a little bit deeper face, a little bit movement in the way that the weights work, the way the weighting works on the club. Still has a beta tie cup face on a 3-wood, on a fairway wood. That's insane. And then they've kind of changed the rail system here on the bottom of it, so you kind of move a little bit of the weight out, but it still clears the turf really well for good turf interaction. So I've been able to play with this for probably a couple rounds while I was down in Florida on vacation, and a couple while I've been up here. Predominantly used it off the tee. I'm not typically someone who hits a lot of 3-woods from the fairway. I just don't have a lot of need for it, and honestly, I don't use a lot of 3-woods in my round. I just love to bang driver. But the way I've been hitting this and what I've seen from it, it may be a really good choice to use this in a lot of different places on the golf course because it goes a really long way, low spin, and it's straight. So I wanted to put this on video for you, put it on the Meebo so you guys can see the numbers for yourself. So let's get to hitting it. When I first got this in the mail, I was super excited to get it because I'd heard so many good things about the CBXs. I hadn't hit the 119s, obviously. They're relatively new. But the one thing I think you're going to notice right away, and it's not easy to tell in video, you kind of have to see it up close, but you kind of get it from this angle, that the way they've kind of hidden the extra mass and to make this a little bit more of a compact shape is right here in the bond, basically, where you get the club to the hosel and the head to the hosel. And what they've really done here is made this particularly deep, and they've hidden some weight here, while at the same time being able to make this a little bit more of a compact shape. So that way, when you look at it at the sole view, you still have a relatively small shape, at least it appears in your hand. You've got these 2 rails here that kind of A, spread some weight out, but B, also allow you to get through the turf pretty well. And then you've got this carbon technology here, again, to allow you to kind of put some of that weight forward. We kind of got away from this a little bit in the push to move CG as far back as humanly possible, as low as humanly possible. But for a better player, you want that weight a little bit more forward. It's going to kill some spin for you. It's going to give you a better opportunity to kind of hit a little bit longer. And with the beta tie cup face, this is just a deadly combination. So on this, I have the hazardous smoke shaft. It's a 60-gram shaft. So I went with something a little bit lighter, low spin, 3.5 torque. I didn't go for the X-Flex in this. I figured a stiff would be the right choice. I typically go for a stiff in anything other than a driver. Then I go for an X-Flex. I have an X-Flex in my 2-iron hybrid from Strixon, and that's about it. So I feel like this has worked out really well. I love the way that this sets up because it sets up a little bit open. Like if I just lay it down there, it's a little bit open. And that's what I want my 3-woods. So many 3-woods are closed when you address them, and it just feels weird to me. I don't like it. I like having something a little bit open. The black crown is just beautiful. There's nothing distracting about it. It's just a classic, beautiful look. So let's bash a few. I typically peg my 3-wood, put it in the ground. I don't really use a lot of the fairway. But I like something I feel like I can line up to and just swing. All right, back here in the office looking through the data on the Meebo after we hit the CBX 119 3-wood in the indoor hitting bay at Argyle Country Club, and then took it out to the range to use the Meebo because it just does a better job outdoors. And we wanted to compare that to another 3-wood that we already have, and luckily we already had another Tour Edge 3-wood in testing. And that was the Exotics EXS 3-wood. So we're doing some testing on the driver 3-wood and a hybrid from them. And so I wanted to compare those two clubs as best I can. Of course, the shafts are different. I went with the hazardous smoke in the CBX 119. The stock offering in the EXS is the Mitsubishi Tensai Blue. So they're different profile shafts, of course, but I'm a pretty decent player. I can kind of manage on the fly, making two different shafts that are reasonably fit well to me work and make an apt comparison. So really wanted to boil it down to what's the difference between having a titanium face and not having a titanium face, having a high strength steel face in that EXS 3-wood. And looking at the flight scope data, it looks like it is a 3 mile per hour ball speed difference on average off the turf with the 119s better than the EXS. Now, over the course of 10 shots with each measured, you're going to look at that 3 miles per hour ball speed and say, okay, well, that's anywhere from 6 to 7 to 8 extra yards difference. That's significant. That's a big deal. That could be worth the money to you of stepping up from the EXS to the CBX 119. Of course, you can also get the advantage of having less spin. So if you have less spin with the CBX 119, that 6 to 8 miles per hour all of a sudden can become much more when you're running it down the fairway, whether that's off the turf or off the tee. So all of a sudden that 6 to 8 miles per hour with lower spin is going to be closer to maybe double that. You're going to have 12 to 16 yards to talk about. Now we're getting somewhere. And so I think you could be looking at a pretty substantial increase in distance, not only based on the better ball speed, but the lower spin if you're trying to compare the two. Now, of course, the CBX 119s are really designed for a better player. They've moved the center of gravity forward so that if you are a better player who makes better contact, you hit the ball a touch lower with a lower spin, and then you get that extra boost from having the titanium in the cup face design. So all of those things come together as a really nice package for a slightly better player. And if you're someone like me who rarely hits 3-wood off the deck, or frankly, rarely hits 3-wood at all, that's really nice to know that you have that in your arsenal, that when you put that club down on the ground, whether it's off the tee or off the deck, you know you're getting an advantage. You know you're going to be able to put it in play, and you know it's going to go pretty far. It might not go as far as your driver, but in some instances, if you pop it right, you may be able to hit it 285, 290, maybe even 300 yards if you're hitting it off the tee. I played the CBX 118s for several different rounds before we did this review, and I found that it goes quite a long way up the tee. I mean, it's up there with some of the longest 3-woods I've hit. Again, don't hit too many of them, but when I do, I like ones that kind of have a tour style look, that aren't very shut, that have a smaller profile, that kill spin. This does that. And so this was an absolute great bonus club to have from the results of the Tour Edge Media Day, winning the long drive contest, and now I have something in my bag in a 3-wood. Another Tour Edge 3-wood had a 3+ before that was awesome. But now I have something in that 3-wood style that has titanium, that kills spin, that goes far, and can be a suitable driver replacement on courses where I can throttle it back a little bit, or in situations on a golf course where I just can't hit it far and I need to kind of throttle it back a little bit. So very happy with this. I'm very happy to have it. You should check it out if you're looking in the market for a 3-wood and you're a slightly better player. You need to kind of kill some spin. Maybe you're a spinny player. You need to knock that down a little bit so you can get a little bit more out of it. But maybe you're still able to get the ball up in the air on your own and not have to worry as much about that kind of help of having that CG a little back and a little low. So check out Tour Edge Exotics. I will always tell people to do that if you're looking for a fairway wood, particularly if you're a better player, you're going to get the most out of it with Tour Edge. So check them out online and stick with us. Leave me a comment or follow me on social media at Ryan Ballengee on Twitter, or Golf News Net is on your favorite social media service at the handle Golf News Net. Thanks for watching. We will see you next time.